Direct response to similar Republican-led redistricting efforts in Texas pushed by President Trump that could reshape the balance of power in Congress.
As Senator Schiff said, Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back.
Governor Gavin Newsom is making it clear California Democrats are drawing their own battle lines.
We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across this country.
The governor announcing a bold and controversial move to redraw California's congressional districts in an attempt to pick up 5 U.S. House seats for Democrats. The move is in response to Texas Republicans' attempts to push through new maps that would give them the same 5-seat edge ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The effort is being led by President Trump.
We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats.
Republicans currently hold a narrow 219 to 212 majority in the House with 4 vacancies. GOP lawmakers call Newsom's move a power grab.
The days of politicians drawing lines should be over. But Gavin Newsom and the Democrats want to continue that process. And I think the voters will ultimately reject that.
Newsom says the state's new maps would be temporary until 2030 and would only take effect if Texas and other GOP states move forward with their own redistricting maps, a process known as gerrymandering. California's maps must also first be approved by voters. The new maps are expected to be released Friday. State Democrats, who hold a supermajority, plan to fast-track approval next week, allowing lawmakers to declare a November 4th special election, at which point Newsom says it will be up to voters to decide.
And here we are, an open and plain sight before one vote is cast in the 2026 midterm election. And here he is once again trying to rig the system. He doesn't play by a different set of rules. He doesn't believe in the rules. And as a consequence, we need to disabuse ourselves of the way things have been done. It's not good enough to just hold hands, have a candlelight vigil, and talk about the way the world should be. We have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt, and we have got to meet fire with fire.
California has an independent map system approved by voters to avoid this very kind of political manipulation of electoral district boundaries to favor just one party. Now, as such, this move has already drawn strong opposition. Some GOP groups say they plan to file lawsuits. Former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, who championed the independent map system, may campaign against this plan. But Newsom's message today was clear. If red states redraw, he says blue states will too. Back to you.
Thank you, John. As Governor Newsom was speaking inside, dozens of masked federal agents were conducting an immigration enforcement operation outside the building. Was it a coincidence? Agents arrested one person, a vendor selling strawberries.
The Department of Homeland Security says the agents were part of an ongoing operation in downtown Los Angeles. Chris Wolf is live in Little Tokyo with the latest on the controversial operation. Chris?
Yeah, Sharon, Micah, all quiet at this hour, but that was not the case earlier today. Arguably, more people are now focused on what happened outside the governor's news conference than what happened inside. U.S. Border Patrol agents in tactical gear emerged outside the Japanese-American National Museum in Little Tokyo Thursday, creating quite a stir among protesters and politicians in the downtown L.A. area. That's because inside the building, California Governor and Trump rival Gavin Newsom was headlining a rally and news conference.
I know they say don't mess with Texas. Well, don't mess with the great Golden State.
Newsom's gathering had nothing to do with immigration, but rather congressional district mapping. He used the opportunity to blast President Trump and border czar Tom Homan.
Where are we? At Democracy Center. And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents. Donald Trump, you think it's coincidental? No. Donald Trump and his minions, Tom Homan, tough guy. Coley decided, coincidentally or not, that this was a location to advance ICE arrests. Indiscriminate? Perhaps. We'll find out later.
A spokeswoman for the Department of Homeland Security says, quote, "Our law enforcement operations are about enforcing the law, not about Gavin Newsom. U.S. Customs and Border Protection patrols all areas of Los Angeles every day with over 40 teams on the ground to make L.A. safe," end quote. Other officials say agents target the worst of the worst, including individuals connected to child pornography or criminal gang activity. However, according to witnesses and news footage from the scene in Little Tokyo, federal agents made one arrest, a man driving a produce truck filled with strawberries.
There was no reason in the world for them to come here. They came here in all of their cars to do what? To take somebody who was driving a car and then denying that they took anybody at all? This is a complete provocation. This has nothing to do with safety. In fact, this is the exact opposite of keeping our city safe.
And it's still unclear whether those federal agents were just patrolling the neighborhood or were part of some targeted operation. For now, reporting live in Little Tokyo, I'm Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
Chris, thank you. And amid the chaos of today's ICE operation in downtown Los Angeles, another immigration raid ended with the tragic death of a day laborer who tried to run away from agents. It happened at a Home Depot in Monrovia. The victim was struck by a car on the nearby 210 freeway as he tried to get away.
The tragedy sending shockwaves through a community already on edge over continued ICE raids. KTLA Sandra Mitchell live in Monrovia with more on the tragedy and the reaction there tonight. Sandy?
Yeah, Micah, you're right. Chaos and tragedy as the ICE agents arrived at this Home Depot. Tonight, the CHP is investigating this deadly accident, but so far they are not releasing the name or age of the victim.
Abolish ICE! We can't wait!
Just outside the Monrovia Home Depot.
No ICE or police!
And near where a man ran into traffic and was killed as he fled a federal immigration raid.
I was heartbroken. I feel like Monrovia was violated.
A crowd gathered tonight to protest ICE.
To know that a man lost his life today, just trying to work, just trying to take care of himself and his family. Heartbreaking.
It happened near the Home Depot on Mountain Avenue Thursday morning. Witnesses say the man ran across the parking lot and onto the 210 East, where he was hit by an SUV and killed.
I just feel for him and his family.
Karen Suarez consoled the victim's daughter at the scene.
And I just went up to her and I said, I'm really sorry about your dad. And she was so shaken up.
Immigrant advocates say 13 people were taken into custody during Thursday's raid.
There were also workers who were injured in the process. They are afraid of going to the clinics or the hospitals. So we're going to make sure that there is a doctor that come and see them. So the first is the humanity of people.
And tonight, DHS told the LA Times the man was not being pursued by DHS law enforcement. But as you can see from Sky 5, hours after the incident, the protesters waving Mexican flags called for an end to the immigration raids.
There's no reason that should be happening in our country. I mean, no one should feel so much fear that their only option is to run.